Warning: the video you are about to see contains profanity. Parental discretion is advised.
Brett, one thing with that. It cost a lot of damn money. I know, because I tried. I did. And then I lost the character. Imagine that, right?
That's bad.
If you think of New Vegas now, think of it's much easier to survive, kind of. Okay, sort of. Except for the death clouds.
Batman Arkham City is a sequel to the Arkham Asylum, which finally brought an awesome Batman game to the forefront of gaming. It had, the Batman franchise has gone through so many ridiculously stupid video games.
What's going on, YouTube? AV here once again with the back with another episode for you guys. TJ Green here.
Ada!
So today's episode is actually going to be a little bit different, sort of, than our normal, I guess you could say, but it's similar. Basically, because we're doing a top 10. What's the top 10?
Yes.
Games.
Yeah, I would just say top 10 games of all time. I mean, up to this date. I mean, with the advent of the Xbox One and the PlayStation 4 and the next generation of video game console systems, it was good to go through the list of all the games we've ever played, in which case some of us who admittedly are like older talking from someone who celebrated his 31st birthday. There's quite a bit of experience in regards to video games, going from the Atari all the way to the Xbox One. So, this will be our. We're gonna go back and forth and reveal our top tens. Starting with Al, then with me, and we'll alternate. And just let you guys know what our opinions are of what we think, regardless of the console. It doesn't matter if it's an Xbox exclusive or PlayStation exclusive or what. If we played it, it was 100% our favorite. So doesn't matter if it was Activision or Ubisoft or Bethesda or whatever. This is our list of the games that made the biggest impression on us in the course of our experience playing video games.
And keep in mind, guys, we could probably do more, but I think top 10 should cover it.
Oh yeah, top 10.
Because there's way too many.
You kind of sort of have. I mean, this one isn't like one of those you can't choose. Like, it's like choosing your children. You can't choose your favorite one. This is definitely the one where with so many improvements in video games, you can easily choose which ones are your favorites. And there are so many. And hey, if you're a new subscriber, hopefully you'll enjoy the show. If you're an old, not age-wise, but just, if you've been with us, from the beginning or just maybe a couple of episodes in, and you happen to have a similar game that would have been on your top 10, or if it matches us, or even if it differs, please, there is a comment section, down below this video. Please let us know. We'd love to discuss it with you guys.
Exactly. But anyway, moving to the top 10.
Yes, why not?
So, I was honestly thinking about going back like 10 to 1, but maybe I'll just go 1 to 10. That probably might be easier, right?
Yeah, I mean, now are we ranking them in any particular order, or we just basically rank them in there as equal value of the top 10 altogether?
Yeah, pretty much. So, I mean...
Okay, so, like, I'll fully admit, when I let you know my, like, actual number one favorite, like, bar none, it will be my number one, because this game, I'm just going to let you know right off the shoot, when we get to it, is, bar none, my absolute favorite game, but we'll get there when we get there. Your first pick for.
Well, honest, quite honestly, my first pick for number one would actually, believe it or not, and this probably won't surprise you and ATJ, that's Skyrim for me. And, I mean, a while back before Skyrim came out, it would have been. It would have actually been Fallout. Believe it or not, Fallout 3. But Skyrim took the totem for number one for me, at least, and that's expected, probably going to change, most likely eventually when more games come out. But that's just so you guys obviously know my number one there with Skyrim, and then of course number two, you got Fallout 3, which I just said I wasn't going to say it, but anyway.
Well, let's talk about Skyrim, because believe it or not, this is where Mr. Varney and he just basically revealed my number one all-time favorite. Like, I can't help it. Elder Scrolls is an incredible series. It's fantasy game done so right, but over the top of the whole. Any video game. I mean, you could rate almost now any video game in the future. They will have to hold a candle to what Skyrim did. Incredible voice acting, incredible story, open world expansion, open world exploration, DLCs that really improved on the story.
They did.
What can you say, as an all-around game that Skyrim really, it was for its installment in this series, it was such, and is still such a revolutionary game. So that's why, Elder Scrolls V Skyrim is my also top number one favorite.
Yeah, because it's like a lot of people also say, well, they hate DLCs. I know people that say they don't get DLCs because it somehow ruins the game for them. Personally, if it updates the game in such a manner that you, DLCs just make it better. That's just what I think. I mean, maybe you guys have different opinions, but for example, the DLCs did make it good. Great, in fact. Great storylines for the DLCs. I know one of the DLCs actually added a lot of different content.
Yes.
For crafting and all that.
Yes.
Because it was, the DLC Hearthfire, right? So basically, that was where you get to build and customize your own house. You can own 3 of these properties. And pretty much do anything you want with them. Go all out. But, Brett, one thing with that. It costs a lot of damn money. I know, because I tried. I did. And then I lost the character. Imagine that, right?
That's bad. When it comes to Hearthfire, I'm not saying it wasn't a bad DLC, but for cosmetic and not really more of a story-based DLC, it was alright.
It was good.
My attention really got held in regards to the story-based expansions. Adding more side missions, but also at the same time, really exploring more areas of the lore of like the Dragonborn.
Oh yeah.
And these like Daedric, instances and vampire hunters and when it comes to DLCs from other games, I mean mostly it's just like playable characters on a roster or things like that, where some of them are nice. I mean, if you look at more of your like WWE and things like that, it's awesome. One of my other favorite games, which we'll get to because we just hit our number ones, had nice DLC.
Yeah.
Not memorable, but nice.
Oh yeah.
And after I played that game before Skyrim, and originally I was gonna say it was my all-time favorite, but the DLC just kind of it told a bit. Part of it was a story-based expansion.
Mm-hmm.
But it just kind of left me hanging. I'll explain a little bit more on that when we reveal our next favorites. Now, you said your number 2 was...
My number 2, like I said before, guys, would be Fallout 3. And the reason for this is because I know New Vegas came out right after that.
Okay, yeah.
Actually, after Skyrim, I think?
Yes.
Yes. I know New Vegas came out at way after that, but the reason I say 3 is because it had a unique storyline to it. Yes, it was actually more... If you think of New Vegas now, think of it's much easier to survive, kind of. Okay, sort of, maybe. Except for the death claws, because they actually did pump those up quite a bit in New Vegas. But I'm just saying, it had a great storyline. The graphics were actually, believe it or not, the way the area was, obviously ravaged to shit, due to a nuclear apocalypse and all that. The graphics made it look great. The area reflected well, I guess you could say, and the storyline was good because it basically explained the storyline of Vaults and what happened before the war. So the Great War, as they call it, and
Right.
You of course start learning a lot more about that by people. I guess you could call them people that were kind of around, but they're not anymore. They're more like inhuman ghouls. At that point, ghouls basically in the game are basically, well, what the fuck are they? I'm trying to figure out what the fuck are they, because they were people. You could still consider them people, but some ghouls turned feral, which basically, I guess you could say, call them zombies at that point, maybe.
Yeah, that might qualify. Yeah.
But in all, I think it was a good storyline. It doesn't have everything that New Vegas currently has, and I do like to play New Vegas, but it strictly for the storyline and everything else. And I played a lot of the side quests too, as well as the main story. Pretty much everything the game has to offer, and I still play it. It's a good storyline. It reflected well, in my opinion.
Anything else before I go into my second?
Yeah, that covers that.
My number 2 has to be, and we're not going even old school gaming yet right now. We'll get there, but it has to be Batman Arkham City. This is where I was going into the whole nice DLC and the whole story expansion. Batman Arkham City is a sequel to the Arkham Asylum, which finally brought an awesome Batman game to the forefront of gaming. The Batman franchise has gone through so many ridiculously stupid video games, and very rarely had what I would define as a gem. They were nice. I mean, they were okay. I mean, going back to the old school, like Nintendo Batman and the Sega Genesis Batman Returns, and like the Super Nintendo, like the Batman Returns, Adventures of Batman and Robin. We saw okay games, but we really didn't see anything worth remembering until they brought to light Arkham Asylum. Batman Arkham City blew that out of the water. It was more open world. It was an entire portion of the city that was cordoned off to house the criminals of Arkham. They pretty much ran that whole city, that whole portion. And by the way, in case you're wondering, there will be some spoilers included in this. So if you have not played these particular games yet, our apologies, but you're gonna probably want to turn off until you get a chance to play the games. If you have, then you'll understand exactly what I'm saying. Spoiler alert, they kill off the Joker in this one.
Yeah, that is a huge spoiler.
The Joker freaking dies, okay? Now, it was announced that Mark Hamill, the voice of the Joker for the last eon, incredible actor, originally was Luke Skywalker in the Star Wars movies, made a huge impact on voice acting and made his mark with the Joker character for Batman the Animated Series and its subsequent, installations. He had announced that Arkham City would be his swan song as the Joker. He would be done with it and was going to try to move on to other things, and thank God he's participating in Star Wars Episode 7 that they are currently working on. I can't wait till they release that. Yes, as a Star Wars fan. But anyway, digressing. So I knew it was going to be his last game, but I didn't realize that they were going to freaking do that to the Joker. The Joker character in those games, unless you make it a prequel, you cannot use the Joker anymore in the game.
Pretty much.
But
and the Joker, as far as I know, was always a big part about the Batman thing,
He's the most iconic villain of the Batman franchise. I really don't I'm sorry if you want to hate on me for this opinion, by all means. The other characters had their their moments, but nobody compared to the fucking ballisticness and craziness of the chaotic nature of the Joker character. He was the ultimate Batman villain.
I'll say this too. From what I know, he does have style.
I mean, come on. The
Why
quote
wouldn't
from
you
the...
want to walk around in a purple coat and dress pants,
And who else can freaking look at you dead in the face, ask you, have you ever danced with the devil in the pale moonlight, and just blast you right in the face for it? But anyway, the game itself was phenomenal. The only thing about it that I kind of have criticisms on is the DLC expansion, entitled Harley Quinn's Revenge. I like the fact that they tried to elaborate a little bit, but I thought it was unnecessary. I felt Harley Quinn's Revenge was more like maybe a mini movie or something that they could have done in a DC animated universe, which, they just released Assault on Arkham, which I watched, which, takes place between Origins and Asylum. And that was, perfect. And even Origins had a nice expansion called, I believe, Cold Heart, involving Mr. Freeze. But it, phenomenal game. Great that they got the most of the actors from the first game to do their voices. The fact that Kevin Conroy, who was the voice of Batman through multiple series animated wise that Batman's been in, and DC animated universe movies, once again did the voice, and he's doing the voice for Arkham Knight, the game that's coming out for the Xbox One and PlayStation 4 consoles in October. So yeah, that's why Batman Arkham City is my number 2.
And it looks badass too, the last game you mentioned. The one coming out.
Please search for the trailer for this, watch it, and if you are a gamer like I am and a huge Batman gamer, you will get this game. It is also being released for Steam for the PC gamers, so if you don't have an Xbox One or can't get one, you can still have the opportunity to get that. So check it out. Your number 3, my friend.
Number 3. Now, of course, I had to put this number 3, guys, because I wasn't entirely sure I could put it number 1 or 2. But it's good. I like to play it. And I'm sure you do too. TJ obviously does as well. Is Elder Scrolls Online. And I'm sorry to say it's on the 3, but it's because it's a new MMO. I like to play it.
Yeah.
The content, they're adding as much content to it as humanly possible, I guess you could say, at this point for a paid subscription MMO that just starts out. Yeah. But in any case, the content, it's good. They're adding, I haven't played too much of it. I've been wanting to play more of it, honestly. But it's just I don't know. It's kind of a time. It's a very time-consuming game, as well as any game, I'm sure. But I think MMOs in general are more time-consuming just because of the fact that they have so many side quests to be added to it, and Oh, and then there's those bosses that don't want to die.
Or
Yeah,
respawn
those-
at the worst opportune times.
Oh
and
yeah,
pork you.
respawn like the time I took you to go get that letter, and all of a sudden, the
Yeah.
guy there, the captain, just respawns. And at the time, I was lucky enough to have other people with me that already killed him, so I leave, go get him, come back. He gets the letter, but right when he gets the letter, gets murked.
Respawns and murders me.
Oh, I died too, by the way, because we were
Oh.
low levels at the time, but still.
Yeah, Elder Scrolls, Online, that's, I'm gonna make that my third because truthfully, like I said, any game after, Skyrim and Arkham is just gonna be equal in value. I'm not gonna go into much. Just gonna say, if you want to know more on our opinions of Elder Scrolls Online, other than this video, please check out our Elder Scrolls Online sub series.
Exactly.
Here on the AV&T show. That will cover more and continue to cover more on our opinions of an ever-growing online PC experience. So I think we should just, go into
Yeah.
our number 4.
4, man. Yeah, for some freaking reason, I thought it was 5. Okay.
Yeah.
Anyway, number 4. Minecraft.
Agreed. Minecraft is basically a more creative, build your own world version of the Legend of Zelda's graphics. Like the original Legend of Zelda. I'm not talking about these new ones, which look amazing. Skyward Sword is, if we were to like rank in the top 10 Zelda games, that would always be my number 1 right now. But the Legend of Zelda, the first one for the Nintendo Entertainment System, the heart meters and damage, with the heart meters and things like that. Just the graphics definitely reminded me of that. But
Yeah. I'm gonna say this: if you play Minecraft, Minecraft's not a very graphical game. Although they have, for the PC version, several texture packs you can use, if graphics are important to you, that is. But personally, it doesn't need to be graphically enhanced because the overall thing of open world, it basically, you could call it open world exploration, survival type of thing. Where obviously at night the creepers and zombies and everything else come out. It's interesting, right? Because the creepers, they like to blow up and they fuck you damn good.
They will kerboom and they will mess up your buildings or anything you may happen to be working on, and they'll take a good chunk out of your health too. They're mean that way.
Creepers suck. I'll say that.
They do. Creepers suck.
So does lava, but that's if you're mining. Never dig up and down.
Never dig
just let me
straight
know.
down. Just have a good hill to just like bounce up and down, like up, diagonally. Because if you dig yourself straight down, you might as well just, accept you've been boned completely, and you're going to die. There will be no.
Pretty much.
Minecraft is living proof that you don't have to have incredible graphics to make a phenomenal game.
Because you can create anything you want, as far as your imagination takes you.
And even if you find yourself getting old with it for a while, you always will you seem to find yourself going back to play, even for like recreational purposes, no matter if you're playing a game like, Tomb Raider or Arkham or Skyrim or whatever. You find yourself going back to that, and I definitely think that that's a huge draw.
Yeah.
So definitely, and it's also a PC game too. It's, I think it's a little bit more fun, a little bit more expansive for the PC, but that's just...
Also, Xbox One release, possibly the 19th.
Yes!
Now, guys, this isn't confirmed because this is just on the GameStop website.
And I am glad they
So-
released a PlayStation 3 version. I really didn't think that it was right for Minecraft to be taken away from people who may not have an Xbox or may not have been able to get an Xbox.
Yeah.
I definitely feel that Minecraft is meant for multi-console purposes. So
Pretty much.
now, my friend, We're on number 5.
Number 5. Well, for me, interesting, honestly, how we go from new to old. But I'm honestly going to say my number 5, Duke Nukem. That's just my
this
number 5.
This one now will definitely be a point where we're not the same on that.
Yeah. But I'm just gonna honestly say, not the newer one so much. The older school Duke Nukem, as you know. Well, what's to say? I mean, you know, you're one badass motherfucker. You know, saving the world from aliens. Just, I mean,
Duke Nukem Forever blewed.
Yeah,
it did.
It did blow. It did blow. I to this day I actually don't have Forever anymore, but I do have the arcade versions on the 360 of Duke Nukem. What was it, 3D? I think.
Oh yes.
They do have that. Yes. If you were unaware, go on your Xbox, take a look. It's actually pretty cheap, and you know what? It brings you back to the old school days. Honestly, when it comes to that kind of gaming.
Agreed on that one. You know, I have had experience with the Duke Nukem series.
I mean, it brings me back to, you know, my childhood playing the game. So, you know, that's keeps it alive.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not gonna discount, you know, what the Duke Nukems were to begin with that drew me to the series, but I started getting disinterested in the later volumes, and most definitely after playing Duke Nukem Forever, I had high hopes that it would be on my list of top, you know, even 20. For me, it won't even mark my top 20. I mean, it's a game I'll remember. It's not the worst. I won't put it on our, you know, upcoming list of worst games of all time. But, you know, it kind of left me indifferent to the continuation.
I will say this though, real quick. Manhattan Project sucked. It really did. I hated it. Blue. Whoever came out with that one, fuck you. That's all I have to say. Well, it could be the same people who created the game, to be honest. The whole fuck you either way. I'm sorry. It did not interest me whatsoever. It sucked.
All right. Number 5 for me is one that we covered, or at least partially covered, in an earlier AB&T, and it is responsible for one of my best moments in the series so far. Mm-hmm. Ladies and gentlemen, my number 5 is Final Fantasy X. Now, for those of you who expect me to go into my whole, you know, rant, or at least a mock rant of, you know, my opinions on the cop-out of the ending, you can get a much better first-time visual experience by going to the Final Fantasy Kingdom Hearts crossover section, where I kind of really go into full detail my honest opinions of the ending of Final Fantasy X. This is one where, you know, released for the PlayStation 2 console, beautiful voice acting, characters that you really cared about, really good mechanics for the system, side quests, such a story in the realm of the Final Fantasy series, and it's one that still people to this day are addicted to. It came out with the release, the Final Fantasy X 10.2 HD remasters for the PlayStation 3 system and the PlayStation 4 system, I believe, got it or will get it. And the Vita, PlayStation Vita, does have it, and I find myself more drawn to it now again than ever, just for the pure nostalgia factor of it, as well as it's just a phenomenal game.
I will say though, I haven't played a lot of Final Fantasy, but I've played a couple of them and I do like them. Just I'm not entirely a huge fan, but I will say they do look good, and I'm not bashing them by any chance, because they do have good storylines, so it's always good,
Much, and I'm sorry, it gets you fucking pumped. Again, at this point, I think I dropped the F-bomb a couple times, but what always gets me fucking pumped is in the opening sequences of that game to see the Blitzball Stadium come to life and to hear Rammstein's Otherworld busting out the jam on an awesomely done CG movie scene that really, if they'd have made a Final Fantasy X CG movie, and if they do happen to, hint, hint, make a movie. I would watch that in a heartbeat and recommend it. Like, it was phenomenal. You could have put that up against, Final Fantasy VII Advent Children any day. So that's my number 5. Number 6.
Number 6. Yeah. Number 6. Why don't you go first while I think about that real quick?
All right. This is a switch.
I'm going to switch that up real quick. So I had to think a little bit.
Well, since I brought up Final Fantasy, I might as well bring up Kingdom Hearts. That is, I'm just going to say the entire series I'm including in just the number 6 spot. Kingdom Hearts is a fantastic franchise. Crossing over with characters of the Final Fantasy game series, making Disney worlds come to life, new characters that you resonate with, and like a key blade, a key sword. Genius. I love it. It just freaking, I love going and just experiencing like the Tron world and Mulan, and the Beauty and the Beast world, and facing off with Maleficent, and it was a game series done right, and I can't wait for Kingdom Hearts 3 to be released. Thank you guys for answering the prayers of people who are addicted to Kingdom Hearts. We've been waiting for the sequel ever since you started creating these sub-sequels and sub-sequels off of originally existing sequels. Guys, if it ain't broke on that, don't fix it. You don't need to be making recoded based off of Chain of Memories and doing the whole same story over again. Dream Drop Distance, I don't have a 3DS, but I've heard incredible things. I've seen some of the gameplay footage from trailers, and I can't wait. I will own a 3DS eventually, so I will be able to play that. I can't wait because the fact that they have on the PlayStation 3 finally released HD remasters of versions of these games. And Kingdom Hearts 2.5 is coming out very soon. Thank you guys. Thank you for releasing next-gen versions HD of incredible games. Thank you. I cannot wait to play Birth by Sleep, Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, originally for the PlayStation Portable, on the PlayStation 3 high-definition TV screens. Thank you. That is my number 6.
Well, for me, my number 6, now that I think about it, is actually it actually goes back to the old school, just like Duke Nukem, but this time it's weird. Most people wouldn't consider this to be a good game, but I always considered it good because it's an adventure game, right? So this is going to be Tomb Raider, right? This is pretty much all the older Tomb Raiders. I mean, the newer one's good, but when you play the old school Tomb Raiders, they always it's the thing about growing up with these games and the new stuff. The older stuff will sometimes, or good points to bad points, will always be significantly better than the other because, well, I mean, let's just take a look at, I mean, like I said, the older Tomb Raiders are, I loved them. I spent hours playing those games, to be honest, and I'll say this, the newest one is good, but it's kind of, well, think of the release for the next-gen system that they did. The release for the next-gen system on the Tomb Raider, right?
Rise of the Tomb Raider, yes, yeah. Sequel to the newest one.
Here's my question with that.
Okay.
What is the fucking point of re-releasing it on the hunch of better graphics? There's really not too much difference there.
I'm actually thinking, and I'm not a purist.
If you've bought the game before for the 360, you'll understand the question I'm asking there. But if you haven't bought it, go for it and get it for the Xbox One or next gen system. Go for it. I'm not saying don't, because the graphics are good.
The new Tomb Raiders will definitely be in my top 20. Not in my top 10, but again, if it's in the top 20, it's still good enough to be remembered.
Mm-hmm.
I loved the realism in the newer Tomb Raider. I love the fact that it's just not, unnatural jumping and acrobatics ability. It's someone like legit going through circumstances, exploring, and being put under, realistic real life situations and having to be resourceful. So I definitely, I definitely agree. Nice on your number 6.
Joel, 7. What do you think, TJ? What's yours?
Number 7 is... number 7... most people would want me to put Final Fantasy 7, and believe me, I almost did. But I didn't want, Final Fantasy to really dominate my top 10. I would have to go with the Mortal Kombat reboot. The newest one. We've seen every, intonation, reboot wise of fighting games and improvements. We had Injustice Gods Among Us come out for the DC characters, which drastically improved on its predecessor, MK versus DC. Ultra Street Fighter 4 just came out, improving on the Street Fighter fighting games from old. We've seen Soul Calibur make a resurgence, but Mortal Kombat was the first one to really get people back into fighting type games with story modes and battles and side characters, and just an all around fantastic voice acting and the back to the side to side, not 3-dimensional, multi fighting style. Just harken back to the days of the old school arcade experience of the original Mortal Kombats, as well as the story taking place alongside the events of the first 3 games, which is Mortal Kombat 2, and the regular version and the ultimate version of Mortal Kombat 3, branching into sections of Mortal Kombat 4, which I think they'll hit on maybe in a later game. Because I would like to see them hit on those characters in that style. We are in a bit of a time crunch, so we may want to just kind of
okay.
So I think rapid fire the next sections, but your number 7.
The 7 for me, actually, like you were just saying, TJ, is actually it's the same thing. So definitely, because hey, it was good. I liked it. I mean, he already explained it. Anyway, 8. What do you think, TJ?
Number 8 is Halo. Halo 4 in Halo 4, Halo Reach actually ends up being a tie for 8, but I'm just gonna go include the Halo series as a general.
Yeah.
It's what got me into first-person shooters.
Oh yeah.
I hated them beforehand. I never played Call of Duty. I never played SOCOM. I never played anything like that. I played Halo, Reach. Primarily. I played the other games, not to extent, but I played Halo Reach massively first. Then Halo 4 to an almost a near obsessive degree up until recent releases like Skyrim and such. Mm-hmm. And I find myself drawn to that because there's more fun in the multiplayer aspects of the Halo series than anything. And, if you need any more proof than that for me, check out our Rage videos. You'll get the best entertainment you've had in the AT&T series to date. I mean, dude, the best moments we've ever had so far.
Avast virus database has been updated.
you know, I love it. My computer's like auto checking right in front of our eyes. But yeah, so yeah, the Halo series, bar none, is my number 8.
Same thing with me. Now, I'm just going to say this. I haven't always been a Halo fan. I was first introduced to it upon getting an Xbox, 3-4 years ago, I think?
Yeah, ish.
About 3-4 years ago, at least. So ever since then, it was Halo Reach first I started playing. And then it was the original. Well, okay, I played Halo 1 on PC, but we're not going to count that because Halo 4 is what really got me into it, and then, Halo Reach, then 4, so yeah.
Agreed.
That's my 8 right there.
Number 9 for me. Oh, jeez.
I got my 9 if you need.
Absolutely. I'm
Okay.
probably gonna.
Well, this is going back because this is the older schools as well. This is Resident Evil 1 and 2. You remember those games?
The Resident Evil series.
Those are the games. The original
Yes.
Resident Evils had a way to really scare the fucking piss out of you. The way, I mean, these newer ones kind of do that, but they had a unique twist. The old school way had a way of doing it, totally different.
What a twist!
So that's just my opinion. If you've ever played any of that, guys, you'll know what I'm talking about. Because I'm a fan of horror games and all that as well. So, yes.
Definitely another series of games that would be within my top 20. Oh, number 9 for me is a game for the PlayStation 1 system known as The Legend of Dragoon. Made around the same times as the Final Fantasy 7s and whatnot. It's an RPG, but you got people who have magical powers and like Dart and Rose and Kongle and 4 discs of just a pure fantasy based story where your powers are harnessed from the spirits of the dragon. And there's just like political undertones and things like that. It was just phenomenal. Number 10.
Number 10. Shit. Go for it.
I actually have mine. Number 10 is going to be harkening back way to the old school. I'm talking about the entirety of the old school Super Mario Brothers series.
Oh, yeah.
1, 2, 3, Legend of the Seven Stars, and Super Mario World. I'm sorry. I do enjoy the Wii versions of the Super Mario Brothers that just came out, like the new Super Mario Brothers and new Super Mario Brothers Wii U. But the Super Mario Brothers number 1 was the game that started it all for me, and it will always, those 3 will always be in my top 10 just because of the fact of, as a kid, that's what got me into what I do now.
Actually, I'll agree with you on that one too. Back then, I remember before even playing Tomb Raider and all that, I was playing Super Nintendo Mario and all that, and so I'm just gonna say this: the older school, I haven't played any of the Wii U Marios and all that, but I've played a little bit of the some of the newer Marios even before that. But quite honestly, I'm just gonna say the old school Mario, Super Nintendos. That's just the kind of game that I had at the time that just got me sitting there for hours and getting probably frustrated as a motherfucker sometimes, but you get the idea.
Oh yeah, definitely get the drift.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, you can't go wrong when you got a boss named Koopa and you got little sub critters named Goombas. I mean,
and a sidekick by the name of Luigi. Right?
Although the one guilty pleasure of mine, dark spot in regards to the Mario franchise, was the creation of the movie, the live-action Super Mario Brothers movie starring the late Bob Hoskins. May you rest in peace.
Yeah.
I did enjoy the movie. I didn't think it was what a Super Mario Brothers movie should have been, but if you took it, actually later I'll just do a sub-movie review based off of the Super Mario Brothers movie. Heck, if he even gets a chance to watch it, we'll do it. Do the review together.
Sounds good.
I'm
game.
But that was a dark spot in its legacy. But so, ladies and gentlemen, you've just hit You've just heard our top
10.
10s for favorite games. We will come out soon with a top 10 worst, I believe.
Worst games ever.
And please stay tuned for those who watched our GTA 5 Part 1. We are going to film the finish up to that as well. And coming up also is another installment in our Elder Scrolls Online series. So for me, thank you all for continuing to watch. Really appreciate it. Hope you enjoy what we do. And if you do, please, subscribe and also leave comments, please, and also, please check out my side channel in regards to any of you who may also be potential or already existing Elvis fans. I have some of my performances on there. Just search for either Thomas Green, which is what my channel's under, or TJ Green, and you'll see my videos.
I'll link you to his page down below as well. So,
and also be sure to check out, like, my opinion, bar none, more of the most entertaining videos of this particular channel. Mr. Varn's challenge sector is starting to get really good. So far his most entertaining one is the everything drink.
that was fucking horrible.
It looked brutal. But check that out. It's been getting really good.
Yeah.
And so
I've got more plans. So
I tip my hat to you. But for me, the T of the AV&T, thank you so much.
catch you
Across the goddamn map. 3 cars per way across this map. On a jetpack, no less. He throws the grenade. I'm pretty much as far away as you can get, and it still gets me, and it still kills me. I'm like, WTFF. What the fuck is that?
Well, let me just give you the tour. There's this burger, medium fried. Let's start this challenge and get this bitch out of the way. Okay. Oh, it's gonna be bad. Everyone, I'm gonna start,